Okay, so we're back at this. All right, so there was a point that David made. David is the guy that's talking right now. There was a point that he made that really made sense, and then something that Ronthi also said that I would like to harp on. But before then, I'll just let it run so that we can get the full
Need.
context.
And then you check your gas, it's almost finished. You have a lot of things to. So, you will need money, right? But the he said something, and then you responded by asking, what is that thing, that extra thing that we bring that is beyond the money, right? She says that a man doesn't just provide money, he provides direction, validation, gratification, and structure. And all of these four things have to do with your character. So whilst you're,
Mm.
oh, don't build your persona, your self-esteem around the money. Cool. You have to be building something. And what are you building in the meantime? You're building you're building your character. I want to use this example. Mr. Ronti is kind of like the oldest amongst all of us. And if you
Ah, I like how David just said Saroti is kind of like the oldest. Okay. That's no, don't mind. Just, just yeah. I mean, be professional.
were to go 20 years back or 15 years back, the things we've had one-on-one conversations where it was like, bro, I remember when me and my wife first got married, we couldn't do this, but now we can. So there's growth. You get no. The problem with our world is there isn't
Microwave.
a man isn't just expected to have money and provide. There is already a standard
Yeah.
for the kind of money you should have. You must be driving a range. You must be living in one highbrow area of the country and stuff. Do you understand? But financial growth is steady. It's not something you just hit. You have to also improve
And that's the thing that some people don't understand. I feel like even I've made that mistake before. I still kind of make it. Like it's a subconscious thing where you want to get money quickly because we've been so spoiled with social media that we get to see what a lot of people are doing. And we get to see people, we get to hear stories like, oh, this guy is 24, is 25, he's flying the world, he has the range, this person has that, this person made their first million at XYZ age. And human beings, we have this internal bias where we always look to the success story, right? We always look to the 1% of the 1%. And we tend to forget that between the 1% top and the 1% bottom, right? There is the 98% that is just there, like it's just average, and then it's spread across. And then it's like you get out, you're expected to make this amount of money when you start working or when you work for a certain amount of time. You're expected, you feel like you need to have this amount of money before you move to the next stage of your life, or you feel like you need to have done some certain things before you can say, oh, I've lived a life. Some people feel like, oh, they need to have traveled somewhere. And if you think of it, the average person, right, doesn't travel as often as the world has made it seem. And that's one of the things that I feel like it creates this unnatural pressure of, oh, I want to keep up with other people. And as much as we don't want to tell ourselves the truth that, oh, we're kind of like looking out, or we're looking outward to measure up, I feel like that's something that most people do even without consciously trying to do that. But yeah, that's actually a very fantastic point that David just made.
yourself on the job, add more skills to yourself and all of that. But in the meantime, we focus so much on trying to make money, trying to pool finances, trying to have financial power, which ultimately pushes us to cross some boundaries we shouldn't cross as men. Do you understand? I'm sure if you lined up 1 million of the people engaging in scams in Nigeria, internet scams, 95% of them will be men.
Of course.
Because of how
I dare say that 99% of them are men. I dare say that 99% of them um doing Nigerian internet scams are men. I dare say 99. If you take out like 1 million. But anyway, yeah.
Daredevilish
Plus,
we are, even with the wrong things, we tend to be the ones that do them the most. But whilst you're pursuing financial stability, you have to develop your character. You have to, because that's the only thing you have running for you, going for you.
There's
At the end of
something
the day.
you said that I really like. It's right now it seems like we're competing with other men. Ideally, you should be competing with yourself. As long as it seems you can measure your growth, your progress, that to me is an ideal way of showing that am I doing what I should be doing as a man, rather than comparing yourself with what the next man beside me has. I think
I think Ronce's point is very valid because at the end of the day, you're generally competing with yourself. Like internally, if everything if all like it all boils down to how you grow as a person. But sorry. But in the same vein, we still compete with others. We're competing. I know, like, it's in an ideal world, right? We would just be competing with ourselves, but we're not in an ideal world because you're measured against some certain standard. For example, you want to apply for a job, you're going to go through an interview phase, and you're competing with the other interviewers. Yes, you cannot worry about them, but you need to be able to say to yourself that okay, I am doing the best that I can. I've checked out the best things, I've done the best tutorials, blah blah blah. And to me, I am at the best point. But the sad reality that most times we don't talk about, and most times we don't like to admit to ourselves, is that you can be the best. Like you can be the best version of yourself and not still be good enough for something. And that's something that we need to come to terms with as human beings. The fact that you need to be the best version of yourself, right? You're still in a world where you're not living in a bubble, right? You're in a world where you're competing for resources, you're competing for a job, you're competing for a salary, you're competing for the best price, you're competing for the best offer, you're competing for the best partner, technically. You want to be the best partner to your own partner, and you want your partner to be the best partner to you. So it's like you're always competing with something else. And of course, you can't technically always worry about the competition, but you need to keep the competition in your mind because there's a certain level that you need to get to. So yeah, yeah, I think that's it. We need to um we need to keep that balance of yes, you can be the best version of yourself, but sometimes you have to come to terms with the fact that your best might not be good enough. Um, and sometimes that's okay, but sometimes it's not, and you just need to either move on or upgrade. So yeah.
I think that's something that men should just kind of.
I think men are generally competitive. So I think instinctively, we want to compete. But I think it's now that maturing to understand that we are not competing. But generally, when a man steps into somewhere, he wants to be the man.
He wants to dominate.
Yeah, definitely. But with maturity, we can know when to compete and when not to compete. And I think that's part of the things that men need to get.
I think we should compete to grow, not compete to outdo or outperform.
Yeah.
That's what we should.
Yes. 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 We should compete to grow and not compete to outperform. That's wisdom, 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 wisdom.
do because I like that competition. I like to walk in somewhere. I'm an audio engineer and a music producer,
You want to
and
be
these
the
are
best.
very So when I go
The
to a
best.
studio or I go somewhere else and I hear someone's record and I'm like, yo, this is, I want to do something
Mm-hmm.
as good as this, but I'm looking at it from the angle of growth. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it from the angle of I want to do better than I am currently.
So I'm enjoying the podcast so far. It's just the whole switching of camera and the lighting and all that that's kind of like throwing me off. But again, this is the first episode. The audio is stellar. Like the audio is it is crisp. Like it is like it's like they're massaging my ear as they speak. Wait, pause. But yeah, um, yeah, you guys can go check them out. I'm going to keep linking the video in the description. You can check them out. Subscribe to my own channel as well. I'm looking for clout as well. And also I'm just doing this for fun, to be honest, to pass time. Um so yeah, just yeah.